today we're going to talk about Rockport, Texas. We have one more week here. Introduce you to our friends who are here camping with us. And
stay tuned to the end for them.
Yeah.
You're going to want to meet them.
Yes. And they also have a YouTube channel. So we'll get right into it.
Hey y'all, and welcome back to the channel. Normally what we do is we do a recap of where we were, and then we kind of do a little review of the area and whatnot. And this one I kind of deviated from what our normal plan is, and it honestly it just screwed things up, so the video didn't fit anymore. But the fact is the video took on a life of its own, and it kind of morphed into its own thing, which is something that I think RVers struggle with anyway. Meeting people on the road, and how do you stay connected to family and friends and things like that. So Rockport kind of became secondary to why we're actually in Rockport. We're not in Rockport because we decided to be here.
Right.
We're actually here because we were meeting friends that we met back in August.
Yep.
So that's how we ended up here. And all these little things are, we didn't just decide to go to Florida. All these things are kind of intertwined, and it's all because we didn't just decide to go to Florida. Florida was a natural progression to get to Louisiana, which was to get to Rockport,
yes,
which is why we went to Galveston. So we do this because Maria wanted to spend Thanksgiving with her family, which meant that we were in central Alabama for that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we knew we were spending Christmas with family and friends in Louisiana,
mm-hmm,
but we also knew we had to be warm. Maria likes the beach, so we stayed in Florida. And then we just kind of meandered down the Gulf until we could meet our friends here in Rockport. Now, that's not a slight on Rockport. Rockport's nice. This is actually Memorial Park here in Rockport.
Yeah.
And
it's pretty.
We've been entertained in Rockport. But we didn't want this to be a review of Rockport and a campground.
Right.
We'll provide a little information on that, and we're going to introduce you to our friends at the end of this video, which is the whole reason we're here.
That's right. So we found a few things to do in Rockport that were interesting. There's a Maritime Museum. Tell us about that.
It's a Maritime Museum. It's three stories. It has an observation deck on top. It has an elevator, and it goes from the early 1800s all the way up to current. So if you like solid wood boats, they've got it all the way up to aircraft carriers, how to tie knots, the different ropes that were used, mm-hmm, everything from Native Americans up to U.S. sailors. It's very interesting. I'm not a naval person. I'm not a boating person, so it's kind of not my wheelhouse. But mm-hmm, I found everything there interesting. They had some of the first Evinrude and Johnson outboard motors on display. They had some information on oil rigs. I would go again.
Okay. My favorite thing was the observation deck, because it's a really good view, and I think it was only $8 a person to get in. So that was pretty good. The next thing that we did in Rockport was we tried to go see the Fulton mansion, but it was closed for renovations. I think they're open later this month, or maybe they may be open now, but we haven't been back. But we did get some pretty pictures of the outside, and here those are. And we'll see.
And if you get a chance, actually do some research on the Fulton family, because it's a really cool story. They owned the plantation here in Rockport, and they were the very first ones to basically get rid of free-range cattle. So they were the first ones to use barbed wire to create pastures that were of a manageable size so that they could increase the health of their herd. Now, if you don't like barbed wire and you prefer free-range cattle, that's who you should be pissed at, because they stopped it. But in their day and time, they were considered very innovative. They also had the very first telephone circuit at one of their houses. So across from the Maritime Museum is what they call their learning center, and there's also a really big turtle that evidently the people of Rockport are kind of pissed about because the original one got blown over, and they funded this thing to be built, but nobody was happy about the recreation of the one that got torn down. Anyway, the learning center was really cool. If you're into the
marine
biology,
yeah.
the way that sand and plankton and that stuff, feeds the animals and fish and stuff. It's a great learning. They had this massive globe with 4 data projectors, so it created a
3D effect, kind of
3D effect of a 360 degree Earth. That was really, really cool.
Right, and I think they do classes there from time to time and little projects for kids and maybe community service of some sort. I don't know.
It was free, and
it was free.
We would go back to that again.
Yeah.
So in Rockport, they have a state of Texas beach that costs you $10 to get in for the day or $40 for the year. Of course, we were stupid, did $10. We should have done the $40.
Would we go back though?
Well, we wanted to go back later.
But we didn't want to pay again.
But we didn't want to pay again. So, but it's got a nice little freshwater bay where you see pelicans come in. It's got little play areas along the way, picnic tables, I think some barbecue grills. Really nice. We would call that a green space from North Alabama.
Yeah.
Just kind of like we are here.
Yeah.
So that was nice. And then we found 4 places that we really enjoy eating at. Well, 5.
Yeah, 5. So the first one was a little bit outside of Rockport in a little town called Portland, and that was called Poseidon. And they are a sushi restaurant, and they had lights that were just all fancy. They have a hibachi grill, and they had really good food. I think some of the best sushi that we've ever had. And
I would agree with that. And I'm pretty picky about certain foods. It was fantastic. It was really good, very fresh.
And then yesterday we ate at a little place called the Apple Dumpling Cafe or something.
Yeah.
And they have
it's like a soup and sandwich shop.
Oh, it was a deli.
A deli.
Apple Dumpling Deli. That was what it was called.
We split a French dip sandwich and
regretted it.
I don't know
immediately after the first bite.
I don't know if y'all ever watched Friends and seen how Joey loves sandwiches. I love sandwiches. A good sandwich, and I'm this French dip. Oh my God, good. So we split one, and immediately we regretted splitting it because we both wanted our own at that point.
Yeah.
But
and don't forget the big giant chocolate chip cookie they had.
Oh yeah.
For dessert. So the other one was JJ's Cafe. They had cute little mural quotes on the walls, and it was just like good comfort food. Yeah. They had breakfast and lunch. I don't know if they have dinner. I think maybe they're open all day. I'm not sure. But the food was really good there too. And
the Bakery Cafe.
We ate at the Bakery Cafe for breakfast a couple times. That was yummy.
Now we'll get to the last one. There's a reason why we're going to do this one last, because
we actually ate here twice.
Yeah. So the boiling pot, what they do is they take regular snow crab, Dungeness crab, and they put that in a pot with Cajun seasoning, and then they make your own private little boil.
Also sausage,
corn, potatoes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally a boil.
Yeah.
What we found out last night was you could add crawfish to it.
Yeah.
I love crawfish. So they line your table with paper, and then when it's ready, They come out and they just dump it out in front of you, and you eat with just your hands. So if any of y'all are looking and want to know how to eat crawfish, I do an excellent tutorial on that. How to eat crawfish.
You take the tail off here?
Yes. You take it, you pull the tail off like that. When you take the head, give it a little suck.
What do you do with the...
Now, once you get the top rings of it off,
I can't get the tail out.
you can give it just a little pinch right down there at the bottom, and it'll come right off.
I can't do that part.
We went to the boiling pot with friends, which is what rolls us into how we ended up in Rockport to meet Greg and Kim, and we'll do an outro into them to introduce them right now. What we waited to the end of the video for as a cliffhanger to get y'all to watch longer. This is Greg and Kim Lewis. They're our very good friends, and they're an example of what people say when you have to be intentional about finding friends on the road. Greg was intentional about it in Indiana and approached us. We started a conversation 6 months later where, you know, we texted the whole time. We set this up to where we could basically winter together, and now we're really good friends and meet a couple times a year whenever our paths cross. So
Absolutely.
And they have a YouTube channel called We RV. So go follow them.
RVEE.
Yes.
We RV.
we'll link to it in the description.
All right.
Yay.
Now we're going to go have dinner.
Yay!
So we stayed at Coastal Breeze RV Resort, which is now, when we booked it, it was Coastal Breeze RV Resort, but now it's a Rockport KOA holiday. And it was very nice.
The campground is great. The sites are, I think they're all pulled through except some on the perimeter, and they're massive. One of our neighbors was in a 43-foot Class A with a crew cab Ram tow behind, and still had
On a flat trailer.
And still had 20-30 feet left over, you know, that he could move around in. So they're huge.
Yeah. I think they're 100 feet long.
That sounds about
right.
right.
The pull-through ones.
Very clean. They pick up your garbage. Water pressure is perfect. You know, they have your normal amenities, you know, washer, dryer, heated swimming pool, have a clubhouse. They do activities. They have a calendar for it. They send you text messages for, you know, hey, we're going to play bunco or whatnot. So we've really enjoyed the campground.
Yeah. They had a fishing pier and I think a fish cleaning station on it.
And 2 really big dog parks. So
that's always important to us because Stella loves a good dog park. Here is a cute little video of Stella playing with her friends. She met so many new friends.
You know, get out of your RVs and meet somebody.
Yes.
You know, create those ties so that when you end up wherever you end up, you may know somebody wherever you're going. Have somebody to go to dinner with or cook out, you know, one evening.
Yep.
The biggest thing is get out and talk to people.
Be intentional about making friends. But we have enjoyed making new friends wherever we go, and that is something that is so awesome about this community, is the RV community, is that meeting people that are in the same kind of stage of life you are and doing the same thing, living the same kind of life. And it's just really fun to hear everyone's stories. If we hadn't have been on this journey, we never would have met Greg and Kim, and they're some of our best friends now. So I guess that wraps it up for Rockport, and we will see you later on our road. Let's travel. I guess that's gonna...
You done?
What are you doing?
I'm waiting for you to do your little...
Is
that it?
Did that suck?
Very nice.
Why do you have to do that?
Huh?
Why do you have to do that?
Why do you use the wrong tense?
I mean, we're about to leave.
It's still going to be very nice when they watch it.
Yeah, but more expensive.
All right, so.
Blah, 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 blah.
What did you cut off with? You got the name, Coastal
I said
Breeze.
it was very nice, and you said it is very nice.
The campground is
Hang
fantastic.
on. I was looking at you.
The campground is actually fantastic. It has everything.
Sorry.
Are we done?
I'm done.
All right. Across from the Maritime Museum, there is also a learning center. Which was really neat. It had
I'm not.
Huh? What?
Go again.
Well, you say across from the
Across from the Maritime Museum, there is a education/learning center for sea life, and that was very interesting. If you like sea life.
We're just shitting all over Rockport.
I found nothing really boring, but
ready? Okay. Oh God, it's gonna start raining again.
Okay, well, let's. And you're gonna be the one talking the entire time because I suck at talking. She's looking.
All right, come on, focus.
All right. We also went to a.
You have ADD.
No, I know, but that car honked, and I didn't want that in the video. Okay, cool. What do I mean? It would be buzzing with people. They have a hibachi bar.
Grill.
God. This one may have to have a blooper reel.
The whole damn thing's a blooper reel.
They have a I can't. I'm crying now. Lovely. Literally tears coming out of my eyes.
You're gonna play hell editing this.
Yeah, super fun. That's why we're pausing in between. I thought you were gonna say the Ross sandwich thing.
Oh, I forgot about the Thanksgiving sandwich.
My sandwich.
It was y'all done. Now I need another shower.